Hey, in today's video, I want to talk about something that's so central to my life at the moment and that I think is an important topic, and that's coming home to yourself. I was trying to maybe look up a definition or something along those lines to share what that is, and I was finding it hard to find one. But I did find this piece of writing on it, which I feel like covers it a little bit for me. It goes like this: a key step that can help us begin to settle ourselves when we're profoundly unsettled is to come home to ourselves in this moment, whatever is happening. This is one way of speaking about mindfulness or being present, coming home to ourselves. When we bring our mind back to our body, we come home. We could consider this state as our true home. This home inside of us is a home no one can take away from us, and it cannot be damaged or destroyed, no matter what happens around us. If we can find this home inside of us, we are always safe. And that makes sense to me and it resonates with me because I feel like I've lived mainly in dissociation for like a long time. I feel like I was making decisions that weren't necessarily what I wanted. They weren't my yeses or my nos. They were more to do with like what I thought others wanted of me, or maybe I wanted to please people. I didn't really understand my true needs. And I think coming home to yourself has a lot to do with understanding your needs and understanding who you are and understanding your yeses and your nos. And I think there's different reasons why we may disconnect from ourselves in that way. For me, it's definitely just been from an early age, not being encouraged to be who I really am or connect to my deep yeses and to my nos, instead having to do what other people wanted of me or expected of me. And I think the first time that I realized that this was something that I needed to work on was when I was in therapy. And when we were talking about difficult things or the realities of my life, I realized how dissociated I would be. And anytime we would talk about those difficult things, I would dissociate even more. So I was naturally living from this like dissociative state. And then anytime I was facing it, it was even like more intense. I couldn't sit with it, I couldn't face it. I'm starting to, and I have been able to sit with those deep, uncomfortable emotions and start to feel deeply and feel my anger and feel my sadness and feel my hate and feel any other emotion that comes up and that like society or the people in your life deem as negative. Feeling all of those feelings. So that, I think that was like a massive part for me, and I am struggling. I'm noticing myself regressing a bit. I had a moment there where I was really sitting with my anger, but now I'm starting to view all these emotions again as negative. So I'm starting to isolate myself again when I'm feeling them. And that really disembodies me. It really takes my experience away from me. Disempowering me is probably the best way to put it. But that's sort of what I see coming home to yourself like. That's in a way how I would view it and how I would define it. And I want to share this in case anybody resonates, or in case anybody pops by this video and is like, "Oh wow, I never knew this was a thing," or "What does this even mean?" Because I think the way I'm looking at it is like, how can I create things that I would love to have seen or created when I was feeling so alone? I would have loved to see a video like this a few years ago and to connect with that. And I want to be that for myself and I want to be that for others. Going back to being who you really are, I think for a lot of us, we don't always act from a place of who we are or just our core yeses and our nos. I think we often act from expectations of others from us. And I think that's a massive part of becoming who you really are, connecting into your likes and dislikes. So I want to delve deeper into this. What that would look like for me is, say if I was hanging out with friends and there's something, and this is such a small thing, but I feel like over time it's so important to build this stronger and stronger and be able to really know what you want. Say if I was hanging out with friends and they wanted to do something, I now would like check in with myself and be like, do you really want to do that? Or are you doing it because you think you should be doing it? And sometimes I still end up doing things that I never really wanted to do, but I feel like now I can reevaluate and be like, oh, actually that wasn't for me. And next time I know to say no. But that's a big thing of like becoming who you truly are. And I think sometimes it can be hard because you want to please and you want to do what everybody else is doing. But the story that I'm trying to reframe for myself is that it's okay if I'm like sitting here alone and I'm doing what I want to do rather than being with a big group of people and doing what they want to do. Like that is okay. I'm allowed to sit here and I'm allowed to, I don't know, drink a coffee instead of going off and doing whatever. I'm allowed to do that. I'm going to try and have a good time by myself, even if I might face feelings like I'm lonely or I'm left out or anything like that. And I think staying true to yourself in that way is so important. And maybe loads of you do that and you're great at it. I'm definitely not. And I'm still working with that. I'm still sitting with that and still figuring out who I am and what I want. But I think with friends might be a great one to practice. Another big thing for me to come home to myself is to speak my truth and to really speak what I think, even if it's not what everybody else thinks. And I think that can be so hard at the moment because there's this thing that, I don't know, there's just this energy of like you kind of have to agree with everybody you hang out with, otherwise you're going to be scrutinized. Even if it's not an outrageous opinion, but if you're just like thinking outside the box about things or you're just not agreeing with the status quo in the same way that everybody else is. So that one can be a little bit hard, especially if like, difficult conversations come up with various opinions. But I think even at that, it's so important, if first of all, if you feel unsafe to like talk to these people about your real opinions or who you really are, to obviously know that and to it's more important to protect yourself and to keep yourself safe than to even bother going into like arguments that are going to maybe make your nervous system act up and start to get anxious and panic. Like there's no point in that, I don't think. But if it is somebody that you can open up yourself with, to start doing that. And I'm not saying this because I have any outrageous opinions, but I just noticed that even with opinions that aren't outrageous or anything, that's still the case. But yeah, surrounding yourself with people who you maybe can be your true self around and who you can express yourself around and disagree. Disagreeing is actually a great thing, and it doesn't have to be the end all of a friendship or a relationship. It's simply a disagreement, and I'm grateful for the friends that I have that are teaching me that it's fine that we disagree, and at the end of the day, tomorrow we still move into life together. It's not going to be the end of the world. But that's a massive thing for me at the moment, is like being able to surround myself with people that if something doesn't sit right with me, or if I have a different opinion when something comes up, to be able to express myself in that way. And I'm still working with like knowing who to hang out with, and I'm experimenting because I didn't do this. I feel like you were supposed to do this when you were like a teenager, and I feel like I'm only doing it now in my mid-20s. And here's to all of us that are like catching up on life and doing the things that we were supposed to do when we were younger but we never got a chance to. Like, here's to us, and here is to a big clap, a big huge clap for us. I am so proud of us, and we're not behind in life. And I know it's hard because it definitely delays you being able to, have the right skill set or know what you want in life, know the type of job you want to do, or know the type of art you want to create, or you don't even feel ready for kids when you're literally working on this deep work that it just wasn't given to you. It wasn't given to you at the stages of your life, and it should have been given at. So here's to us, and I'm proud. I'm so proud of us, and I'm so grateful to be able to say this out loud and to share this. But yeah, I didn't really structure that in any way. I just kind of wanted to talk about coming home to yourself and inspire myself. I really wanted to share this really important topic to me that's been like central to my life and will be central to my life, because this journey of being able to come home to yourself and be who you truly are with the people around you and in the world, and being able to be honest with yourself, I feel like it's like a lifelong journey that I'll probably have to work on for the rest of my life. But I'm grateful that I'm aware of it and that I get to do it. And an incredible book that I've been going on about for ages, and anybody I meet, I'm like, have you read The Artist's Way? Yeah, it's been an incredible book. The Artist's Way has really helped me to, like, with all the different tasks that it gives you each week, it's helped me to be able to tune into that inner child inside of me and who they are, like what do they want to do, who are they? Yeah, I feel like The Artist's Way has really been helping me. by doing the different tasks each week, I've been able to sort of reflect and look into who I really am. Like, what do I like to do? Who would I like to be? What are the possibilities of all the things that I could do? And yeah, honestly, it's just been a little hug to my inner child going through the artist way. And that's the best way I can describe it, I think. If you maybe weren't like encouraged to be who you truly are, or yeah, if nobody really guided you, I think that the artist way can be helpful to start to look at that little child and what's going on for them. Who are they? What do they like to do? What would they like to do? Yeah, that's the best way to explain it for me right now, I think. It's funny because you think you're going to read through a book like that and be like, I'm going to have this massive artistic project finished by the end of it. And if anything, I've stepped away from YouTube for a while, and for many reasons, some of them being that I'm just scared to be on here. But I don't have a massive project after finishing The Artist's Way. I'm quite at the end of it now, and instead, what I am left with is loads of these small projects that I've started, and just seeing where that goes. And I hope that I can get closer and closer to who I truly am, and I hope you can too. And if you have any suggestions or experiences or anything you'd like to share with us in the comments of what it means for you to come home to yourself, what that looks like, is that something that you even heard of? I'm feeling really existential right now and really emotional. But yeah, I really just hope that we can all act from this like inner exploration and self-love and share that with each other and pass that to each other. But yeah, thank you for being here. I want to end with a vulnerable artist prayer. And before reading The Artist's Way, I wasn't praying much to God, but we're going to keep praying to God or to Spirit or to Universe from now on. And I want life to just be a lifelong prayer. So yeah, in The Artist's Way, she shares an artist prayer, but she also encourages you to write your own. This is my own prayer. A great creator, please protect me from any harm. Allow me to see clearly through my conditions and downfalls. I open my channel up to you for creativity and creation to flow. I trust that you will lead me to where I need to be. Help me to know that I'm not alone, and guide me to be a support for those in need of it. Bless me with your unconditional love and help me to pass it on to others. Help me to find mental stability so that I can work from a grounded and nourished place. I welcome new ideas you bring my way, and I allow myself to be guided in anything that needs to be accomplished. Help me on this journey and help me to know that I'm loved and lovable, and help me to accomplish good self-worth and teach me how to trust myself, my gut. Guide me on this journey, God, and to create what I need to create in this life. That can be to your God, to the universe, to energy, life force, because that's what I think this work is. It's getting to that deep life force inside ourselves, inside nature, inside the universe, or God, if you want to call it God. I think that's what this is. It's always just coming back to that energy and seeing that that energy is there, because I think in the way that things feel now for me in the current world, that just keeps diminishing for me and it keeps disappearing and I can't see it. I can't see the life. I forget that like the birds sing, and like I forget that like I can lay in the grass and I'll feel held, and I just forget that there's goodness in this spiritual life force, and I can breathe it. I can use my breath. I can do breath work. I can meditate. I can just sit with Mother Earth. I can send a loving prayer to a friend. I can be grateful for this food through prayer. I can be grateful for another day through this prayer. I can be grateful for the love that I received through this prayer. And this is getting me emotional, but I just forget that that life force exists, and sometimes it's hard to see the light. But yeah, I think looking at life through one of the YouTubers that I love, Hitomi, I think that's something that she said, like, life is a prayer, you know, looking at life as one big long prayer really helps me. And thank you. I'm grateful for your time, and take care. I hope we can keep connecting in different ways with ourselves and with each other.